Hello, everybody. It's Bill. It's that college football guy here. Another video. Time to get into those Big Ten prediction videos. As you saw, I posted this. I just posted this. I'm recording these, earlier because it takes a little while to get these uploaded. 5 videos for the course of this week regarding the Big Ten. Today is part 1. We're talking Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Maryland. Now, each school's got some notes to stuff to do about it. And last year, in the last week, you saw me, I did them at home, but because of problems, getting tires fixed, my wife's car, I lost about 8 hours of recording time today. So because of that, it was all research because my research disappeared. Anyway, let's get into this very quick because we don't have much time. All right, Illinois. Start with them. 5-7 last year. Their Vegas win total, the Vegas line's been on there is about 5.5. Brett Bielema, 18-19 in 3 seasons at the helm at Illinois. What do we need to say about them? Luke Altmaier. Can he improve from last season? I mean, he underachieved a little bit, and mainly, can he stay healthy? Because that's the biggest problem that they have. Can he stay healthy? But we'll see about that. The running back room needs to improve. The wide receiver room has a lot of newcomers, so it's kind of in flux. It's kind of an interesting decision there, is that how fast can they gel together to become a cohesive unit for the quarterback? And that's going to be the big key for their offensive line. That pass protection has to get better. You gave up 40 sacks last year. I mean, that's bad, so that's got to improve. Defensively, the defensive line room is also in flux. There's just a lot of turnover there. Linebacker room actually is pretty damn good. It's pretty solid. Defensive backs, some turnover there, but the fact is they were still a little young and they need to improve, and hopefully they can continue to do so. Now, with that being said, what's going to happen next? As I move some stuff out of the way here. We're talking about predictions here. So we go with Illinois' schedule. You start off at home against Eastern Illinois. Yeah, that's a cake. You lose that game, you suck. I'm sorry. But you're going to beat Eastern Illinois. Then you get a bye. Why is it so damn early? It just not makes any sense. You come out of the bye to play Kansas at home. Kansas is a tough game, and I think normally do things, but the fact is Kansas has some flex issues, coordinator issues, other things on there. Kansas is going to on there. You catch them early, so the time to catch Kansas, and I think you're going to catch them early and at home, because that's the only. I thought about this catching early. You're kind of on there, okay. How's this going to go? So I basically, because you were at home, I gave you the tiebreak. You won the game. Then you're staying home against Central Michigan, Directional University Part 2. You're going to win that game. Then you're on the road at Nebraska. And I'll find my notes here. Oh my God. Nebraska. I put my notes in the wrong place. Nebraska lost by 13 at home last year. And now you're going to play them on the road. Yeah, it doesn't look good for you. You're going to lose that game. Penn State's next on the road. You lost by 17 on the last year against Penn State. And I think you're probably going to lose again to Penn State. So that's your end of the loss. So go into your second bye, because Eastern Illinois is kind of a week 0 game. So you're 2 byes into the season, 5 games in, you're 3-2. Not exactly a good start. Come out of the bye at home against Purdue. You lost by 25 on the road last year, but you got a bye getting ready for Purdue. You're at home. I'm going to give you the win over Purdue. Then you're at home against Michigan. Look, I know Michigan is downward. I know Michigan's not the same as Michigan of last year, the national champs. But they're still got more talent than you do, and they're going to beat you. You're going to catch the loss even at home. Then you're on the road at Oregon, traveling cross-country, the Pacific Northwest. Oregon's an incredible team. They're going to beat you up and beat you. And then you're at home against Minnesota. You beat them by 1 on the road last year. It was a dogfight. Now you're at home. And because you're at home, I'm going to give you the win on that one. Then you go into your last bye. Come out of the bye at home against Michigan State. Michigan State, this is a weird situation here. This is the one that I made notes for it. Both schools have byes coming into this game. So nobody can say they had a bye advantage. It's completely even. So I looked at everything else. I looked at all of it going like, This is another coin flip game. This is the game is whoever's at home, I'm giving the advantage. You're at home, I'm giving the advantage over Michigan State. Now we got Rutgers. Same thing. This is where the coin flip hurts you. You got to travel to Jersey to play Rutgers. Same reason, I'm picking Rutgers to beat you. And then at Northwestern, you lost by 2 at home last year. Now you got to travel to Northwestern and do it. You got to travel in-state rival. I can't believe I'm saying this. Northwestern has more talent than you do. That's crazy to think, isn't it? But it seems that way. I don't know if it's actually by the time this happens, we'll see what happens. But because you're on the road, I'm giving you the loss. So that makes you 6-6 on the season, 3-6 in conference. So now we get to the Indiana Hoosiers. 3-9 last year, not the good. Head coach fired. Kurt Signetti, who was the head coach of James Madison GMU, he comes in and brings a boatload of people, players and staff with him. It just bring one or the other. Not everybody, but practically. It was at least, it seemed like a lot of them. So he brought in some new coaches, including an offensive coordinator named Mike Shanahan. No, not that Mike Shanahan, and not even related to the Shanahans. This is his name is Mike Shanahan. The question is that he was with Duke last year. Can his offense translate? That's my thing here. Offensively, had issues at quarterback. Curtis Rourke leaves the Ohio Bobcats and comes to you. He's going to come in here. He's got great leadership skills. He should help on there. He's going to help you stabilize the position. Running back room, wide receiver room, and the offensive line room, all were in flux because of the head coaching change, JMU players coming in. So it's how well can all of this blend? I mean, that's basically, you could say that for the offensive line, defensive line, every position group on this team. Because Indiana was so bad that a lot of players came in. Every single group is like a mix of players from last year and former James Madison players. So the whole team is a blend. How well can this get put together? Now, the James Madison players are going to have a leg up because they're going to know the system. And there's a lot of them. They're going to know how the offense and the defense goes, his philosophy. So they're going to know a lot about this. So they're going to have an advantage. Now, not play-by-play for playbooks, but the philosophy of what he expects from them, they're going to know. So they're going to have a leg up over the Indiana players, which is weird to say. So how is this going to go? Well, you start off the season in Indiana at home against FIU, Florida National, and going to get a quick dub. Then you're staying home against Western Illinois. Another dub. Then you go on the road at UCLA. Yeah, cross-country travel is going to kill you. UCLA is going to beat you. Come back home to Charlotte. Not your league, you beat Charlotte. Then you're stay at home against Maryland. You played them on the road last year and lost by 27. I don't see that changing. Maybe the margin of victory is smaller, but Maryland's still going to beat you. Then you go on the road at Northwestern. Now, normally, I would say road team is a disadvantage over, and the home team has the advantage, which would be Northwestern. And on top of that, this will be your 6th consecutive game played. Northwestern's coming off of a bye, and they're at home, so I have you losing to Northwestern. But then you get your bye, and you're at home hosting Nebraska. So you have all the advantages in the world. Problem is, Nebraska is also coming out of a bye. So that bye advantage doesn't work here. So you're going to have that, so now it's an even playing field. You're at home, but Nebraska's just far more talented than you are. So you're going to lose to Nebraska at home. You stay at home, and you're going to face Washington. I know Washington flux, but they're not in that bad a flux. They're going to beat you up, Indiana. Then you go on the road at Michigan State. You lost by 3 at them at home last year. Now you got to travel to East Lansing. Guess what? You're losing again. Then you're at home against Michigan. I had to write this down. You lost by 45 last year. Now, this is not the J.J. McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan Wolverines, but this is this team. and they're still going to beat the brakes off you and beat you. Then you get another bye, your second one. You come out of the bye and get ready to go on the road to face Ohio State. I didn't bother looking anything up. Did you play last year? Yeah, you did. This is the one game. Indiana, bad team. Played Ohio State last year. You only lost by 2 at home. Ohio State got caught sleeping. Now, are they going to catch you sleeping again? No, because they know you're going to be a problem and you're going to have a bye week. So they're going to be geared up for revenge, and they're probably going to blow the doors off you. Ohio State beats you. But you finished the season at home against Purdue. You lost by 4 on the road last year to Purdue. This is in-state rivalry. This is rivalry week. And Hoosiers, you're going to get the win and beat Purdue to finish your season 4-8, 1-7 in conference. Yikes. Next up, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes. 10-4 last year. You got shut out by my Vols in the Citrus Bowl. Kirk Ferentz. Hard to believe this, folks. This will be his 26th season at Iowa. He's 196-19. 119. I'm probably going to stop saying these win things, but just how long they've been there. Tim Lester comes in as the offensive coordinator. Was formerly the offensive coordinator at Michigan. Actually, no, excuse me, not Michigan. He was the former Western Michigan head coach. Am I correct myself? I look at this as the fact is you have the Western Michigan offense. The Western Michigan team didn't perform that well. Are they going to be able to actually score points? Can they score points? I said right now, if Iowa's defense is, as I said this earlier, if Iowa's defense is an attack and this team could score 30 points a game, they're going to be dangerous. But right now, that's a big question. Cade McNamara, former Michigan quarterback, comes back in. The question is, can he stay healthy? That's the big question. Can he stay healthy? I don't know. If he doesn't, former Northwestern quarterback Brendan Sullivan is going to be coming in, and he might have a shot at the job. Running back, wide receiver rooms, offensive line rooms, all of them, the entire offense, they need to show up. We don't know if it's play. Oh, it was your Kirk's. It was your son's play calling. Okay, fine, prove it. Show up and show some points here. Otherwise, it may not be the coach. It may be the talent. That's one thing that's got to be shown here. Defensively, last year's defense just beat people up. And as scary as it is, based upon the talent they had coming back and the talent they got coming in the transfer portal, this defense could actually be better than last year's. Like I said, that offense starts scoring some points. They're going to be a problem. They were a problem last year with no points since they went 10-4. But linebacker, defensive room, potentially they have the potential to be actually pretty almost great here. Very good to great. Biggest problem was the defensive line. 0 pass rush. That has to happen because you can't have the secondary having hung out to dry. You need to have a pass rush to help them out. That's going to be very, very important here. So how is the Iowa schedule going to go? All right, you start off at home, Iowa, against Illinois State. Yeah, that's a win. Then you're at home, rivalry game against Iowa State. Cyhawk Trophy, I believe it's called. Well, you beat them by 7 on the road last year. Now you're at home. I think you're beating them again. Starting out 2-0. Then you're at home against Troy. Troy lost their head coach, lost their players. Same thing, kind of like a James Madison type situation. But it's going to be interesting to see how they handle things. But it's going to be early. It's going to be in flux. You have an established team and an established coach. You're going to beat Troy at home. Then you go on the road at Minnesota. This is one game that's weird. Minnesota has had less talent than Iowa in recent years. But it seems like Minnesota's had Iowa's number. I mean, you had better talent than they did, and you lost by 2 at home last year. Now you're on the road. And I'm picking Minnesota to beat you again. So you're going to beat Minnesota, lose to Minnesota. So you're 3-1 going into your first bye. You come out of the bye week at Ohio State. Then home against Washington. Washington's going to be coming in. They've played games too. They've had on their. We're going to see how this is a point. Is we're going to find out what this game I think is going to be very telling for both teams. You're about 5-6 games in for both of them. Both of them have kind of basically figured out their identity at this point. What are they going to be? This is going to be an crucial game for them. But so I kind of in the way it's kind of like a pick 'em because of your lack of talent. They have some talent, but they're in flux. They have a lot of here. So I'm going to give you the edge at home, and you're going to beat Washington at home. Then you go on the road at Michigan State. The same Michigan State that you beat by 10 last year. Problem is, you just played Ohio State. You just played Washington. You're traveling on the road to East Lansing. They had a bye the week before. So I'm picking Michigan State to beat you, Iowa. Then you go at home against Northwestern. You beat them by 3 on the road last year. Now you're at home. You got a better defense than they do. And with all the issues going on that you have with offensively, I'm still picking you to beat Northwestern. You stay at home against Wisconsin. Now this should be one hell of a game. You beat them by 9 on the road last year. So they're going to want to come in for some revenge. But I have you because the fact I looked at them as a pick 'em game with Wisconsin. 50 coin flip game. Who's at home? Iowa's at home. I'm giving you the edge of Wisconsin. Now you're going to go on the road at UCLA all the way across country. And this is where cross-country travel is going to hurt you. Lack of offense, lack of a run game at times. Can't throw the ball. That better be fixed. And because of that, and going off of what I've seen so far, I'm picking you to lose on the road at UCLA. Then you get the bye. You come out of the bye on the road at Maryland. Problem is here, this is kind of a coin. I was kind of a coin flip game, but I'm going this way. I looked at Maryland's roster. I looked at the depth chart, and I'm going like, this is where injuries going to come in. Bench on both sides is going to kick in. Defense travels. I'm picking you on the road to beat Maryland. This is a little bit, people say, well, it should be the Maryland team have the advantage. It would be, but Iowa's defense is exceptional. But the problem is, like cross-country travel, like I said, I gave the loss to Minnesota, Michigan State because Minnesota has had their number. Michigan State's got better talent. I think they're going to have better talent. Also, the fact is, not better talent per se, but the fact that because they played Ohio State and Washington, they're going to feel like they went through the gauntlet, they're going to be let down. But you're going to beat Maryland on the road. They finish off the season at home by Nebraska. You beat them by 3 on the road last year. Coin flip game here. Who's at home? I'm picking you to beat Nebraska at home. So I'm going to have you going 8-4, 5-4 in conference. And last of the part 1 prediction videos, we're talking the Maryland Terrapins. Last year, 8-5. Last year, not bad. Beat Auburn in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. Mike Loxley, had a pretty good 29. Is under 500 in 5 seasons at Maryland. One thing that you're gonna notice with these Big Ten predictions, you're saying, well, what? Why are these? A lot of they're playing a lot of the Western schools are playing East because there's no more divisions. So some of the schools in the East are used to getting thrown through the wood chipper, like Maryland, who had to play Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan every year, and Michigan State. Now they don't have that. And in fact, of the schools I mentioned, those 4, they only play one. They only play Penn State. They don't play Michigan State, they don't play Ohio State, and they don't play Michigan because of no more divisions. So some of the schools in the East are going to break. Meanwhile, some schools in the West who are good, now you got to play those Eastern teams. Uh-oh. All right. Biggest question for Maryland, look in the notes here. Who is your starting quarterback? Is it Billy Edwards or is it MJ Morris? Who's your starting quarterback? That's my legit concern. Who's your quarterback? So you figure that out. We got here. The running back room, wide receiver room, both got good depth, lots of talent. Offensive line, lost players. A bunch came in the portal. How well can that unit gel together and provide protection? That'll be a big key there. The defensive line is back, but all their starters back. That's big. The linebacking room is... It's a solid group, but the problem is, it's a solid group and they're very experienced. I'm looking ahead of my DB notes. Very experienced, so they should be the kind of the anchors of the defense. DB room is, a mixed bag. Safeties are really experienced. The corners, they lost their best corners, so now it's basically transfer portal. So how well is that going to work? That's how we're going to see this. So Maryland, how are you going here? Well, you start off week 1, home against UConn. Yeah, that's a win. Then you're home against Michigan State. You beat them by 2 on the road last year. Now you're at home. I'm going to pick you to beat Michigan State. Actually, I realized you did play Michigan State. Okay. And you're on the road at Virginia. You actually played them last year and beat them by 2 at home. You're on the road. Virginia does not have Maryland's talent. Why you played them that close at home last year kind of bothered me last year. I think you're going to get this figured out, and you're going to beat them on the road. Then you're home against Villanova. Yeah, there's a win. And then you're on the road at Indiana. Well, I just mentioned Indiana. If you paid attention, you beat Indiana. So now you get your first bye. You're 5-0 going into your bye, out of the bye. You come out of the bye at home against Northwestern, where you lost by 6 on the road last year. Well, you've had a week to prepare. You're going to beat Northwestern. Now you've heard the performers you have. This is a tale of 2 halves on Maryland's schedule. This is nuts. First half, okay. Second half is a gauntlet. UConn, Michigan State, Virginia, Villanova, Indiana, Northwestern. Nothing to write home about. Here comes the second half. Second half of the season, at home against USC. I know they're cross-country traveling, but you don't have the kind of talent. They're going to be cranking out points. You have problems stopping people with weak secondary. I'm picking USC to get the win. Then you're on the road at Minnesota. This is a game that I was thinking about, okay, how are we going to do this game? How are you going to do? You played 2 games in. You just played USC at home. You're on the road at Minnesota. Minnesota has a bye week, but if it's a bye week, you don't. You just got beat up by Northwest. You just got beat up by USC and Northwestern a little bit. And you're on the road. I'm going to pick you losing to Minnesota. Then you get your second bye, and you come out of the bye on the road at Oregon. Yeah, that's an L. Then you're at home against Rutgers, who you beat by 28 last year. They're going to be looking for revenge, but the problem is you're at home. You beat them in their own building. I'm going to pick you winning that game. You come out of the Rutgers game at home against Iowa. We just did Iowa. You lose to Iowa. And then you finish on the season on the road at Penn State. And this is one of the rare occasions where you play teams back-to-back years on the road. You lost by 36 on the road last year. So, yeah, you're losing again. I'm going to go through their schedule again. Talk about backloaded. UConn, Michigan State, Virginia, Villanova, Indiana, Northwestern. A lot of people were thinking, oh, God, this team's going to be good. After that, USC, Minnesota, Oregon, Rutgers, Iowa, Penn State. That back half is bad. They're going to go from, all right, we got a chance to get a bowl game. For the Northwestern game, you're 6-0. And then you only win 1 of your remaining 6 games to finish 7-5, 4-5 in conference. A bad time for Maryland. So, again, recapping this. Illinois 6-6, 3-6 in conference. Indiana 4-8, 1-7 in conference. Iowa 8-4, 5-4 in conference. And Maryland 7-5, 4-5 in conference. So, time to let me know what you think about this. So, let me know what you think about this in the comments. So, thanks everybody for watching the video. Real quick, everybody heard that when I did my recap video that I have I recorded one. This same video at home, I actually watched the playback, and for some reason my camera cut out for 2 minutes, and so did the audio. So there's this blank spot. So I had to delete the upload, and that's what I'm re-uploading now. So I'll be doing these on the road here. So like I said, let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you haven't done it already, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Maryland. How did I do? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't subscribed already, first off, if you have, thank you. If you haven't, check out some other videos I've done. And if you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the way to 1K, slowly but surely. Links in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter, on X, that link will be in the description. Yes, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm cooking here. I'm in South Georgia heading to Florida. Tampa delivery tomorrow morning. So I got to get this done so I can get the AC back on because you can't hear me when the truck's running. So thanks everybody for watching. Whoever's having a great day, be safe out there, and please be good to each other.